They could do. Okay, on Monday.
No, I ain't changing the course.
I was like, okay, Lord. And then coming to me, cause you never.
Yeah, so, but anyway, she said it, she got, and she did, she got the ticket, however.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's that time for 30. Thank everybody for being here today. We call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order, and we have roll call, please.
Stephanie's supposed to be on, I
Oh,
promise
she's
you, but
not there.
she may not be able to hear. We'll make a note for the minutes of who's present. Obviously, Commissioners Blackman, Outlaw, and Howland on here. Stephanie is at a Civitans conference, but I think she should be on, but I'll check and make sure. I'm taking notes as backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a quorum.
You do have a
We
quorum.
do have a quorum. Okay. We have two people that signed up for public comments.
The first one is.
Mr. Ward.
DeMarcus Ward is here.
Let's see, I wonder if he found how to get here.
DeMarcus Ward.
Somebody outside?
Yeah.
Maybe it's good for it.
Was, oh, this should be out, okay. Okay, thank you. And Mr. Hughes, Jordan Hughes or Foster, are they on?
He's right
Oh,
behind you.
okay.
Mhm.
It's on you.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Jordan Hughes. I'm the Director of Water Resources for the City of New Bern. Ms. Askew had asked me to stop by this afternoon to give the board a brief update on some of the city's ongoing construction projects that are near the Trent Court, the southern part of Trent Court housing units, and as well as right adjacent to the Housing Authority office, the old office. We've currently got two very large sewer improvement projects going on down there. The good news, one of them is mostly complete. That's a pipeline installation around the river wall, by the playground, around the basketball court, and kind of back toward the Tryon Palace. Most of that work's complete, and all the work along the Housing Authority property is complete. Been from the Housing Authority a few years back. And the ongoing work, what you kind of see going on now, is the completion of a new sewer pump station. It's at the corner of Eden Street and South Front. And once that work's complete, we'll be able to demo the old pump station. The old brick building that sits down on the riverbank, kind of nice, where it's been there for a while. Floods every time we have a bad storm. So the intent of the new project is to create a new flood-proof pump station, a little bit higher elevation on the corner there, and we'll be able to completely abandon and demo the old building there, clean the riverfront up there, look a lot better once we're done. A lot of weird activity kind of takes place behind that old brick building, so it'd be nice for a lot of reasons to get rid of that thing as well. So our contractor working at the pump station site well underway. You may have noticed if you've been down there in the last week or so, we've actually got a portion of South Front from the end of Walt Bellamy back around to Eden Street is closed off to through traffic. And the reason we're doing that is probably starting tomorrow, Wednesday, they'll progress with some of the underground gravity sewer work out of the pump station site into the roadway to connect to the existing infrastructure. So we have a hole that's 10 or 12 foot deep. So we want to make sure, right in the middle of the road and for a couple of weeks while they're making all those connections. So it's a pretty in-depth process with the underground infrastructure. It'll take us some time, so we close traffic off. And while they're down there, we've been utilizing a portion of the old parking lot for the office, kind of a lay down yard for the contractor, stone materials, pipe. We talked to them about trying to keep that as tight as possible. And I noticed Friday after Ms. Askey sent an email kind of asking some questions, went and looked at it. They got a little loose with some of that. So we had them this morning. They tightened that up quite a bit. We've actually re-barricaded all that off. I guess the western entrance into the old office, That's completely open. The parking spaces adjacent to the building are completely open if somebody needs to get in there for access. There's also concern about some old temporary pipe markers we had along the pipeline around the playground, the basketball court. We're hoping to get the surveyors back down by the end of the month to take the remaining survey shots they need. That's what the temporary pipe markers are for. And we could get those removed. We actually made some phone calls this weekend, twisted some arms. We got them down there this morning. All that's taken care of. The pipes are gone. The holes are filled in. The remaining survey work's been done. So that's all cleaned up. If there's any other issues, we'd be happy to address. We'll have the contractor down there to address them. And on behalf of the city, we do appreciate the patience and cooperation. I know there's a lot going on down there. It's a big, lengthy project. I was looking back through project notes last week, trying to kind of piece together the timeline of my mind. We've been working on this since '07. So we've had a lot of conversation, a lot of involvement with the housing authority. It's a lot of transition to housing authority since 17 as well. So we've dealt with Mr. Blaney, we dealt with Livingston. I think Steve Strickland had some conversations, Lisa Lee. So a lot of folks we've talked to about this project in the past, I realize are not sitting in this room today. So I think, and I'll personally take some responsibility. I apologize. I don't think we probably made the housing authority aware of our presence as much as we should as we moved in and we started doing construction right around the old office. Just kind of got caught up in everything going on. And in my mind, we've had a lot of conversation with the housing authority over the years. It's just a different group than it has been for like 4 or 5 years. So some of you know me very well. I know how to get up with me anytime. I'm gonna leave some cards. If there's ever any concern from me and the residents and the maintenance staff, anybody down there, don't hesitate to call me at any time. We'll make sure, I mean, we're there to get this project done and get it out as quick as we can. We want to get out of there. If something's not right, something look right, the contract, something we're doing, let us know. We'll get it right. I promise. We're going to leave everything in better shape than we found it. Not just from the sewer system, but the surrounding area as well. So we do the best we can to wrap this thing up. Give you a timeline. I know it seems like it's been a while since we've been working on it. Has. We're probably looking at another 60 days in, the pump station construction before they really get back on the site and they're doing some final actual building work on the new building for the pump station. And then we've got one last piece of the puzzle, which is tying all of the 2 projects together. And that is contingent upon one remaining boring contractor getting to town. And it's a contractor having a hard time getting here. We've got to make a very long directional bore, basically all the way under the Trent River. So 25 foot deep, the length of the Trent River. There's only a few contractors in the country that can do that type of work. And we've got one on contract. It's just scheduling every month. It gets pushed a month as they work in different parts of the country. So right now we're on schedule for October. We can get them down here, everything buttoned up. The goal is to have all that work done, everything buttoned up, cleaned up, the old building demoed, site cleaned up by about Christmas time. So we're trying to keep the contractors' feet to the fire and keep on that schedule. So hopefully by Christmas, New Year's, have a very different looking world down there. Much as we get into spring, it'll be a much different looking world as everybody kind of comes out on the river in the spring. So I'll leave some cards. I got a stack here for everybody. And like I say, if there's ever any questions, please don't hesitate. Give me a call. Cell phone number's on there. Same one sits on my nightstand every night. Don't hesitate to call. Everybody else does.
Jordan, I'm sure you're in constant contact with our maintenance director.
I think David met you. David Tennant.
Okay.
David Tennant's on-site project coordinator. Either him or myself are on the project site daily. David, most of the time, he's the guy. If you ever see somebody with a city truck, just flag him down. If you can't
talked to him a couple times.
Yeah, just
Okay,
give him a
good.
day. We'll take care of anything you got. Something doesn't look right. Don't wait 2 or 3 weeks. Let us know. We'll get the contractors. We'll get the contractors on top of it. Make sure everything's taken care of.
To have it out of that floodplain, y'all don't realize how bad that is and the problems we had when we had Florence and everything. So this has been a major accomplishment for us to get this done as far as the city's concerned and for the sustainability of our sewer system and flooding.
Yeah, we've had a lot of with Florence and a couple of the storms before Florence. We've had some major flooding in that station. It basically makes the sewer system in that area somewhat inoperable. Sewer service
Right.
for existing Trent Court residents would be a problem. So the new station being resilient and flood proof and out of the floodplain certainly eliminates those problems for us and hopefully makes it a much better situation long term for everybody in the neighborhood. Any questions? I'd be more than happy to answer any questions everybody got while I'm here.
Thank you for taking the time to come to update and an update. I saw some traffic on it and didn't know it had got to that degree, but you good, Mr. Jones?
Yes, they're on, because I was gonna ask you about the price, but you said they're already civil law.
Yeah, I went by it. Yeah, they told me this morning, I went by it just to make sure before I came over here. All the pipes are going, the holes are moved back in. They, like I said, they got a good, good way to get into the building now. All the parking spaces adjacent building, free and clear. We're gonna keep them that way as well. Like I said, the next probably 3 weeks, we'll have that road closed as they wrap up all that underground stuff in front of there. So just kind of keep that in mind. The road will be closed for another probably 3 weeks or so, but we'll get that back open. And then it's a construction site for a little while. Hopefully we can get that buttoned up as quick as possible by the end of the year, be back to normal now, or better than normal. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well. I mean, like I say, anytime, any questions, don't hesitate to call. That's what we're here for.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, what are we doing in the old admin building? Is there a reason we have to get in there or?
We store all different things in there,
So we are actually using it, even though it's a condemned building?
just storage.
Time, appreciate that info. At this time, let's, review the minutes. We have comments and then.
I'll make the motion that we adopt the minutes as stated. So,
All of approving the minutes as published, signify by saying aye.
aye.
All opposed, like sign. No more questions, anything, we're good, minutes have been approved,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
did the motion include both sets of minutes?
I should have said that, but I can rephrase mine to say,
As long as-
make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on July 17th and of the August, special call meeting. Sorry,
All right, good.
all in favor of approving the.
amended motions.
Amended both sets of meeting, minutes, as published, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, minutes from both sessions, special call, and it's been approved. Ms. Wells, finance report.
Start with the total operating revenue for Trent Court, $395,904.49. For New Bern Tower, $606,535.38. Total operating expenses for Trent Court is $654,050.79. For CHI business activity, $27,893.99. For the Ross grant, $42,824.82. For New Bern Towers, $501,144.22. Total net income for Trent Courts, $342,364.70. CHI business activity, -$27,893.99. For the Ross grant, -$42,824.82. And for New Bern Towers, $105,391.16.
Any questions or comments for Ms. Wells? I entertain a motion for the approval of the finance report.
I make a motion that the finance report be approved as stated.
Second.
Second.
All in favor of approving the finance report as stated, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Finance report has been approved. Executive Director's report. Ms. Askew.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, you all. And I apologize for not being able to be there with you, but I'm there with you in spirit. First off, I want to thank all of the commissioners for attending the commissioners training last week. I hope it was productive for you all, as it was for myself and the staff members that attended. Thank you so much again. The second thing I want to talk about is our FEMA consultant. The contract with Widow Bryan expired the end of July, and so now we're out for a RFQ for another FEMA consultant, which it closed this past Friday. And so we're reviewing the proposals that we received now so that we can bring back another FEMA consultant so we can continue to move that process forward.
Can I ask you a question, Tiffany? What, I know that we had Valerie, so it was a 1-year contract and she's no longer with that company. So I just
Correct.
thought we were just gonna work with her outside of the company.
We still have to do a procurement. We have to follow the procurement regulations and rules. And so we have to look for a FEMA consultant and follow that process.
So we potentially could have a different one.
Potentially we could.
Is she interested still? I mean,
So we got the proposals in on Friday. So we're
Right.
gonna review those. Of course,
Okay.
I'm not there today, so we're gonna look at those this week.
okay.
Hopefully she sent one in, maybe.
Okay.
But we still have to review and we have to score them as we have to follow the procurement regulations. And the second thing is we attended the local historic commission meeting, and we seem to be moving forward with them. They were very supportive of the demolition of the Trent Court project. And so we're moving to the next step of submitting the full application to them, which it'll be in September when we go back to them with our full application. So they've been very, very supportive in this process. And so they're on board with that demolition process. The third thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is we will need to do another RFQ for a development partner. Laurel Street will not be working with the agency, and so we'll need to go through that process again. And I've asked Mr. Barner to join us tonight to give you all the overview of that process and what it's going to look like for us to procure another developer.
Tiffany, before Mr. Barner starts, can I ask a question while I've got Jamie here?
Yes, ma'am.
Does our procurement policy or whatever not allow us just to go back to since we never signed a contract, to go to the next, group that made the proposal? Because we had didn't we have more than one?
You can ask me that question, and
Okay,
we did have two, and those two tied, so we can't go to the next one because they're tied. The score were tied, so that's why we have to start it all over. But normally we would go to the next person, but the next group, the two groups tied.
Okay.
And of course, legally, all of those proposals have expired.
Okay.
So there's no, legally, it's better to have fresh ones since they're also old.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Reggie.
No, you're fine. And good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
As Tiffany indicated, if you all recall, previously when we put the RFQ together, we solicited your input and we explained to you all the process that we went through, what we would like to do, because we do have two new commissioners on the board since the last time we put the RFQ together. So what I shared with Tiffany, and we agreed that I think it's a good idea to provide you all with a copy. We'll get that to you of the previous RFQ that we utilized, give you an opportunity to review it and give Tiffany and I any comments or questions that you may have from the previous RFQ. It was very detailed. It covered everything that we needed to focus on. It outlines for you the roles and responsibilities of the housing authority, as well as the role and responsibility of the co-development partner. So it's very specific in that role. One of the things that we did highlight that was a focus of concern that we wanted to focus on previously was a developer that had experience working with choice neighborhood initiatives. And so that was one of the items, as you will see when you review it, that we did include. So I know the community is still interested long-term in going back to a CNI implementation grant. So we did include those type of things within the RFQ. And so what we'd like to be able to do is get this to you all over the next few days, and then have some discussion. And then what I like to be able to do is definitely by next month, with the board's approval, we put it back on the street. Generally, how it works is we put it out for bid, and then respondents respond to that. We have a pre-conference meeting with the developers on site. All of them previously came in, walked the property with us. We highlighted the developments as it relates to the phase 1 development, as well as potentially the phase 2. We highlighted the development that had a lot of questions. So we were able to address all of those concerns from the previous respondents. We would probably do the same process again this time. You all will be welcome to attend those walkthrough as it relates to those pre-conference meetings, as pre-bid meetings, if you will, before they submit their bids. You can make it mandatory that they attend the pre-bid conference. A lot of agencies don't make it mandatory, but if you so desire, you can make it mandatory that they do attend a pre-bid conference. And then after that, they submit their proposals. And then we have an independent committee that would review and rank, as Tiffany mentioned before. And as you heard, the previous ones, the second groups and third groups tied. So it's independent based on each reviewer's comments. And then we do a tally from there. But as I indicated, we were very detailed previously in the RFQ. It met, and Tiffany mentioned that on another topic, it met all of the HUD requirements for the procurement process, as well as your internal policy for procurement. And those are the types of things that we have to be mindful of and careful of as we submit these for submission. Are there any questions at this time from anyone?
I guess Tiffany, or both to you and Reggie, how does this push us back now? Can we still move forward with FEMA and the environmental assessment and the application with SHPO, even though we don't have this developer in place? Is that going to hold that process up, or can we still move forward with that?
Yeah, it allows us to continue to move forward, but however, that's why I want to give you all opportunity to review it, where we can go ahead and get it on the street, because as you know, Sabrina, from attending that previous call, one of the things that we will be needing to work with the development partner on is moving forward to develop the master plan for the redevelopment of the flood damage unit. So time is of the essence. It doesn't hold us up with moving the environmental process and the SHPO process forward. However, the long-term redevelopment plan would be needed with the development partner. So that's why I would like to be able to be in a position at the next month's board meeting to get the approval to put the RFQ back on the street.
Wow. Do we have to, once you get that to us, do we have to wait till that meeting, or do we have a special meeting to take care of that?
We can have a special meeting to take care of that. I mean, it's very detailed. I think everything is covered within this current RFQ. So if you want to, we can get it to you guys. I just think it's important that you all have an opportunity to review it and give us any additional comments. But if you want to take, say, 10 days to provide those comments to us, and then we can have a follow-up call. It doesn't require a formal vote from you all. I just think it's important because you all have been engaged that before we put it back out, that you do have some opportunity to provide some comments. So, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Scott, it doesn't require a formal vote. I just want to make sure we cover your desires and needs of you and the rest of the commissioners. So if y'all can do that within 10 days and get that back to us, we can incorporate that into the updated RFQ, and then we can be ready to move forward.
Yes, thank you. Get that to us and we,
Yeah, I think what I'd like to go ahead that we can vote on and we should vote on is to say that we'll have 10 days to get comments and maybe go ahead and vote on the special call meeting now, because you have to put that out there in the public. We have to say that we're having the meeting and go ahead and set that. So we've got some deadlines in front of us. You know, it could say that you'll get it out to us, in 2 or 3 days, and then the following, we've got a week to review it. We should get any comments back. And then we should have a special call meeting via Zoom or however we did it the last time to go ahead and give our okay or give our feedback or whatever, see the final product, if that's what we want to do. But if we're going to have a meeting, we have to call a meeting. We have to vote to call a
The
meeting.
next regular meeting is September 18th, so you either wait until then or you pick a date before that. If you have 10 days to review, that will put you probably somewhere around September 8th. We could have the RFQ finalized for the meeting probably the week of the 11th, but probably 13, 14 timeframe. So you're really only saving yourself.
It's fine. I didn't know what the time frame.
Yeah.
I think it was the 20th of the month. So.
I would be comfortable doing it on.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. What you all.
Yeah.
I'd be comfortable doing it on the 18th. This is important enough that you don't need.
Close, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll do it at the next meeting, but get that to us, so we can start doing what we need to do with it.
So I think Dee has it for you all today, so she'll provide it to you all before you leave. And
Awesome.
so that way you all can go ahead and start reviewing it. We were prepared to make sure you all had it today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reggie.
Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good evening.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's all I had to share with you all today.
Any questions, comments from Ms. Askew? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
At this time, we will have the New Bern Tiles report by Ms. Simmons.
Good afternoon. The occupancy rate for the New Bern Tower and the month of July was 95%. We had 5 vacancies. We had 2 move-ins, 1 move-out. We have the account receivable time rate of 101%. We had 5 more payments. And on the work order, we had 2 requests and 2 pending repairs, 11 police reports and 0 fire reports. Thank you. Any questions?
Oh, you get really good at this, Natasha. Right on the money, girl.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms.
I might complain, but when it's right, it's right.
Next, we have a Trent Court report, Ms. Minor.
How y'all doing today?
Good. Thank you.
That was Mr. Ward. He got to the end of it, but I told him to write his question down and come back next month, but I think I helped him. He said he was good with my answers.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say, he could still come in and talk if he wants to. I hate to put anybody off. If
Okay.
they want to talk, but.
He probably right there. We'll see.
Mr. Chairman, that
I mean, not now, but I mean, at the
Yeah.
end of the meeting.
Yeah, let's stay with the flow of the meeting.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it now, but
Okay, so, we have 95% for the occupancy rates. We have, 8 vacancies.
95.
no.
I'm sorry, 93, I'm sorry, that's correct. Keep them out, she was, okay.
It's okay.
So
Yeah, get your,
93 occupancy rate for transport. We have 8 vacancies. We have 2 move-ins, 3 move-outs. We have a tar rate of 65%. We have 26 for non-payment. We have 1 outstanding request. We have 22 police report and 0 fire report.
Why do you think you have so many non-payments? Is people just struggling right now or?
It's hard to
Everybody's
say.
struggling, but
To me, it's hard to say. July, August, maybe they were getting things closed. For this
that's
month.
25%.
So, I don't know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Ross program report, Ms. Huggins.
Good evening.
Evening.
We have 53.4% participant. Case management is ongoing. Weekly resident updates are continuous. Partnership resource opportunities are up to date. New activity, we had a back to school outreach event for the residents on 8/11. We had a food sponsor, Mr. Woods, Arabian Temple Lodge, and 3J's Rentals supplied us with cotton candy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, we were able to hand out age appropriate backpacks filled with school supplies and also bicycle helmets to the children. We have a resident opportunity where they can enroll for nurses aid class NA1. I'm able to sponsor 4 residents quarterly if they want to get certified and get the training. And also a new opportunity is Medicaid and Medicare. I have a speaker that I have to get that scheduled, but I have a speaker to come and talk to the residents about that when I get that scheduled, or talk to the New Bern Towers property manager. That's all I have. Oh, also, let me tell you about the attendance. The attendance was 14 resource partners and 60 resident families participated.
Awesome. That's a good event.
Yeah, that was great. I was very happy about that.
Do you have anybody that's gonna take like the police academy class or how much?
4. So
Okay.
we're waiting until they actually go and get seated in the class, and then we'll pay for their participation.
Awesome.
citizen police, not
Yeah, police academy, they,
citizen.
yeah, okay, you said police, well.
Citizen.
Yeah. It's not.
I just wanna make sure it wasn't another program. I didn't think.
I had someone call me about that.
Yeah, it was a conference. So we do have some residents signed up for this, for
Yes,
that?
yes,
That's
ma'am. We have 4.
good. Okay. And any other after-school programs other than Life 3 for our kids?
Right now, that's all we have that's free. Yes, that's.
Do we help, like, if there is after-school programs? I know some of, like, what's it called, The Village out there, and then there's some.
You're just saying like
Okay,
3.
oh, that's that
Mhm.
one. And if there's other programs that offer assistance or even a small, fee, is that something that you would have funding to take care of if there's other children that need
In
it?
the budget, they would have to let me know ahead of time, and I would have to talk to the finance manager to see if I have funds for that.
Okay.
Cause Garber used to have a program where they would. I don't remember if they picked them up, but I know they would drop them off. And theirs was free, but I don't know if they're still doing it.
Right.
Farther down on Country Club Road, just, to make sure that. all of the kids, need.
That wanna do it,
that.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
and it also helps the parent too. With some of the schoolwork that they may not, they even teach the multiplication and division differently now.
I know there's one down on Country Club Road. I think it's
Probably.
Parks or something. It's a new one. But it's just a drop off, for a
Yeah.
couple of hours if they need
Mhm.
assistance that way.
Just to make sure that the residents know about it so they can take advantage because the schools can't promote it any longer based on a decision that the board made. So, but I do know, I can't think of it, but I'll get it to you so that you can get it out to the residents.
Great, thank
I just
you.
don't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They promote the Boys and Girls Club, don't they?
Not
Not
anymore.
Oh, or do they go?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's there,
That was.
but they can't promote it.
I have.
Truth and love. The Bible tells us that.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
Cause it ain't working on time.
That makes sense.
Yes, but, I hear you. And have a question about,
Then he popped back out.
oh,
He popped in for a minute, but I guess he went back out.
there was a program that we learned of in our training where if you were, I think 18, that you had to have so many hours of community service. If
Does
you were a
somebody monitor
resident,
that?
yes, that's my question.
It's 16 actually, from what I
Okay.
understand. So, yes, what I normally do is, as far as the community service, is I send out a notification to them to find out if they are participating in that, if they're unemployed. If they're unemployed, then they're supposed to do 8 hours of volunteer work. If they're in class, then they're exempt from that. If they have any type of disability that keeps them from, not being able to work, then they're exempt from that. But that's basically it. If they're in a program through social services that require them to do a work search sheet, if they're under that particular requirement. So as long as they're continuously doing something in order to look for work, if they're at NC Works or something like that, then that's considered participation for that 8 hours. So
it's not anything that you monitor or anything that you can maybe create a program for or assist with?
well,
This community service.
I do assist them with letting them know where to go to do their 8 hours.
Okay,
I still, tell them, these particular places can help you with the 8 hours. Please let me know if you need some new places to go to do your hours. And they'll tell me, well, we're doing them, we're doing this for, work search. And so that's basically all they're doing right now is volunteering and
where do you refer them to?
RCS, the library, the mediation center, just wherever they tell me that they do volunteer work, they'll let them come in and do it.
Anybody on their end tracking that?
Boring.
So,
Probably.
well, what the residents, they're telling me they prefer to go and take classes. So I give them the opportunity to, take the CNA class. I mean, they have that opportunity to do that, so. I'm trying to stay on top of it with them and keep reminding them that they need to do it, if they're not working or doing anything.
Bless you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
You're doing a great job.
that's a labor you're doing.
It is.
And we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We remember when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they were involved in anything through their church, that could be counted, you think? Like in our church, we have teams that work in the media system. They help to taught how to run the cameras.
Right,
and
if
things
they're
like
playing
that,
the
so.
piano and they get a small check for that, that's considered, I mean,
Okay.
because they're participating. And I told them that they could go to different churches and do it as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any more questions or comments on Ms. Huggins? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We have a resolution, but one thing I want to put in our hearing, that training from the other day, I'm not gonna try to keep you. We need to look at some of those committee things that we need to put together. We got a couple of people out today, but I want to put in our hearing that we start thinking about, you know, the sooner the better that we, and you have wrote down some, Sabrina.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's way
There's
too many
another-
for, I mean, we need to pick
couple of-
one or two that we
Yeah.
think are important and try
I
to
don't have mine.
move on that, but, you know, our travel policy, we talked about, uh, records management. I'm sure and we may have some of these, you know, our grievance policies, we talked about that and I think some of that's been met already. The PEP policy, the resident initiatives, records retention, we've got that list there, but I think what we need to do is just come together. Yeah, and have a workshop one day and just say, okay, we're gonna pick one or two and focus on that and get it done.
And we do need to do that. Too often we have training in different places and come back and don't follow through on it. You know, but that was time well spent, a lot of information and, you know, for whoever the boards that come behind us, they'll have something in place to,
Right.
something solid to make the agency more efficient. You know, so just wanted to stir that back up in our brain. So look at our sheets so we come together again. And we can set some time up, not take this time for that, but just wanted to bring it up. So
Also recording the meeting.
Yeah.
yeah,
We need to discuss that.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that would be some debate.
Yeah, but yes,
It's
but
worth bringing up and
yes.
talking about.
So just want to put that out here and any more questions or comments? Entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning, approving motion for adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nobody's talking about that.
Meeting is adjourned.